James plunges into the icy pool, shattering the morning stillness with a brutal cold shock. He emerges from the stream, declaring his move to 40 acres of Canadian wilderness. Starting with a modest cabin, James envisions a glorious homestead rising from the wild. James feeds dried timber into the cast-iron stove. This fire is essential for surviving the sub-zero cold. Hot water blooms the grounds. This aromatic pause fuels the builder before the grueling labor begins. James dips plain chicken into rich almond butter, carefully testing this strange field ration. James discovers banana. Almond butter beats chicken. He then rips open a new package. James Alice clears thick snow from the ATV, prepping the workhorse for heavy hauling in the merciless frozen landscape. The tarp flies off, revealing the red and black ATV. It stands ready to haul timber across the frozen terrain. He fires up the engine, dragging the empty sled into the deep woods to gather raw timber. Snow flies upward. James masters the ATV through tight evergreens, showing complete control in the harsh, unforgiving cold. James Alice shouts a fierce rallying cry. Frost clings to his beard as he embraces the brutal cold with wild enthusiasm. James loads the heavy timber onto the sled. A black strap lies on the snow. James lets out a sigh, spotting the loose cargo. He retrieves the strap and hoists the slipboard back onto the stack, improvising a fix to prevent further cargo loss. Kneeling on the blue tarp, James picks a lithium drill for precise assembly. Every tool is accounted for in the freezing cold staging area. The drill wars James bores holes into the log walls, anchoring vertical posts to bear the roof's weight. This ensures the cabin withstands heavy Canadian snow loads. A plank slips unexpectedly. James catches the falling timber, quickly calculating if the remaining inventory is sufficient to complete the exterior scaffolding structure.
Enough.
James lays plywood sheets on the frame, creating a stable platform above the snow. This elevated deck is vital for safe roof construction. Clearing snow, James Alice drills final screws to secure every joint. This meticulous check prevents failure when the heavy roof beams are hoisted. James climbs the new high platform, stomping hard on the plywood to test its strength. This stress test proves the scaffold can safely hold the heavy roof loads. With a bright headlamp and chainsaw, James Alice enters the dark forest to clear fallen trees. This night mission ensures safe passage for heavy machinery before tomorrow's work. The chainsaw roars. He slices through snow-crushed trunks in the dark, executing precise cuts to clear dangerous obstructions. Each falling branch demands split-second timing to avoid injury in the isolated woods. The massive canopy crashes down, shattering against the frozen ground and sending snow dust into the headlamp beam. James scans for hanging branches, ensuring the path is safe for transport. With the path clear, James pauses to breathe. The route is now open for the heavy roof beams. James Alice eats oil-soaked anchovies, refueling after the night shift. This high-fat ration is crucial survival fuel when pushed to physical limits. James screams the word with manic joy. This primal shout releases the pent-up stress of his solitary life in the wild. Waking up late, James feels better despite morning sickness. He plans to take it easy today. Instead of roofing, he stacks a 14th log layer with 13 walls done. Adding one more maximizes the interior loft space. James heaves a heavy log onto the sawhorses, prepping it for peeling. The chainsaw roars. He cuts precise notches for the 14th log, ensuring a tight seal using traditional Scandinavian scribe technique. James Alice balances atop the wall, sliding a heavy timber into its groove. He checks the fit carefully. One slip on this narrow surface could be fatal. He shoulders the massive lock, pushing it up with brute force. Every step through the snow and sawdust is heavy yet steady, proving the raw power needed to build without cranes. The final log drops into place. James checks the tight joints satisfied, then drills to secure the 14th layer of the wall. Evening brings reward inside the heated tent. James prepares a lavish meal of steak and pineapple. This rich feast is a well-deserved recovery after days of relentless labor. James devours a thick, bloody steak held by pliers, chewing with rugged ferocity. This raw dining style perfectly reflects his unapologetic wilderness survival attitude. He reveals the thin, white inner bark that invites wrath. Dogs in the splayer of white-off. James Aleph spots blackbirds overhead, unsure if they are ravens or crows. This pause highlights his sharp awareness of the wild signs around him. James explains the etymology Wednesday is literally Woden's Day, named after the Norse god Odin. James places the log. He pauses to insert orange earplugs, shielding his ears before resuming the heavy labor. The log lands with a heavy thud. James Alice cries out in surprise at the sheer weight of the timber settling into place. He explains the ancient rule of log construction: butt to butts, tops to tops, just as the gods intended. He wields the chainsaw to clear protruding burls, shaving off stubborn imperfections with precision. This ensures a perfectly flat surface, a mandatory preparation for the next structural layer of the cabin wall. Taking a brief break in the snow, he eats sardines and lets out a tired yell too. Jason clings to his beard. He admits a rushed error cost him precious time. He holds up a red crayon pointing to the marks that led him to cut the wrong line. This small error now demands an immediate fix. The log falls a foot and a half short. This miscalculation creates a glaring structural deficit in the wall. Rather than felling a new tree, he splices the short log into the frame. This clever patchwork fix saves precious daylight. With a wry smile, he accepts the flaw. The imperfect timber becomes a testament to human craft, not machine precision. This cabin bears the rugged signature of mortal hands, a cabin. He hammers the pin, then drives long bolts with an impact driver. Each connection is tightened for rigidity, ensuring the joint bears the heavy roof load. The walls are done at 8 feet high. They form a fortress against the elements. This milestone turns a foundation into a sanctuary. He surveys the future home site. A sheer cliff drops 25 feet straight down to the river below. The ridgeline looms over 500 feet into the sky. Dusk falls on the frozen forest. Warm light glows from the tent. Smoke rising into the gray twilight. A fragile refuge against the dark. He stamps into the drift to gauge the depth. The snow swallows his ankle, marking a severe baseline for the winter ahead. The dense canopy intercepts the falling snow, shielding the forest floor below. Gundabad, a mystical dwarf on the bark, breaks the silence. This whimsical vision adds a mythic tone to the winter routine. The dwarf demands a great task on behalf of his people in exchange for the magical gift he offers James. The dwarf issues a cryptic summons: meet at Thor's Red Oak on your land this Sunday, midnight, where the task shall be revealed this Sunday. What have I gotten myself in? He shoulders a 20-foot timber. These massive eaves beams exceed previous maximums, demanding every ounce of his strength for this daunting lift. The beam extends for feet, a crucial defense against heavy snow. James admires this structural triumph. Retreating into the tent's warmth, he devours rich lamb. This vital meal replenishes calories after hours of grueling labor, banishing the brutal cold and exhaustion. He reveals a rudimentary yet highly effective sanitation system, a 5-foot-deep pit that serves as the primary outhouse. The sand absorbs liquid, leaving freeze-dried waste. This drastically extends the pit's lifespan, a brilliant low-tech adaptation for winter survival. Recalling his mother's epic canoe trips in northern Ontario, he honors her survival expertise. This simple log seat technique bridges generations of backcountry explorers with the latrine explained. James jokes about the snow. His priority is clear: finish the roof. Get this roof fit. He carries the freshly peeled log to the main cabin wall. He hoists the heavy log onto the wall, straining under its immense weight. He shoves the heavy log up with a final burst. Holy shit, he gasps as it locks on. He aligns the notch with the wall, sweat steaming in the cold air. He drills deep, driving long screws to lock the joint and secure the critical connection. With a final thud, James punches the air. His wild laughter celebrates conquering this impossible lift. He spots a hidden detail. The 14th layer was vital for anchoring the beam. He anchors the beam by drilling it into 3 separate logs, rather than just resting on 1 separate logs. James stares in disbelief. The logs have finally become a real cabin. He points to the walls, now 8 feet 7 inches high, a truly amazing height. 8 feet 7 edding, look out to all those suckers are. But these ridge beams, these eaves beams, red triangles mark the 6-foot gables, shaped by a steep 12 by 12 roof pitch. The steep pitch sheds snow vital for this area's ridiculous snowfall. Next, the gables and ridge beam rise, locking in the roof frame. To work the gables safely, he must build double-height scaffolding at least 8 feet tall. He offers a weary farewell, turning his back to the camera. The swirling snow obscures the cabin as winter reclaims its silence. He salutes. Then the view shifts to a silent, snow-covered tent.